Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this month's edition of The Big Question. This month's big question is a scary one. Am I okay? As in, do I have enough money saved to cover my retirement living expenses and any other major one-off expenses that may come up, all the while also maintaining enough of a buffer to weather the market volatility that we will inevitably see over your retirement? And my answer to this question is another question. Do you have a plan? And to be clear, when I say a plan, I'm not talking about that thing you updated 3 jobs, 2 kids, and 10 plus years ago, nor that half-hearted plan you put together by plugging in your income, your 401k balance, and a few other accounts into that online calculator so that it could tell you how much you may or may not be able to spend in retirement. And I'm definitely not talking about that thing you wrote up on a napkin. I'm talking about a financial plan, complete with a balance sheet of all your assets and liabilities, a list of your goals, both near and long-term, so that you may review this within the context of different market environments in order to see how it would have held up for you throughout history. And if you don't have this, then your plan is essentially the equivalent of a guess. Fortunately for our clients, they do. They do have a plan. One that is updated regularly year over year on an ongoing basis and more frequently as needed as different life events come onto the horizon. Now let's talk about why a plan is so important, because I can already hear some people out there grumbling right now that their napkin plan is perfectly good and it's held up just fine, so long as it doesn't get wet and they don't misplace it. But first, a great plan shows you where you are at. Again, getting back to the guess, if you don't have a plan, you simply don't know how you are doing or how you are measuring up against your goals on a day-to-day, month-to-month, or year-to-year basis. You are simply guessing. You may think you are doing well, but thinking or feeling like you are doing well is far different than knowing you are. Secondly, it allows you to lay out the steps needed to either continue on the current path you have set out on, or, equally as important, course correct quickly before short-term temporary missteps compound into long-term permanent mistakes. And lastly, it allows you to plan ahead, to look out 5, 10, 20 years from now and plan for those larger upcoming expenses that are likely to occur, as well as build in a buffer for those times when life throws us a curveball. Believe me, it is far easier to work towards a successful outcome when we know what we need to plan for in the coming years than to get a phone call on a Tuesday saying that someone needs money by Wednesday. Our options become far more limited in a hurry. And if you don't have a plan, or your plan is more than a few years outdated, now isn't the time to wait. The beginning of the year is a great time to get your financial house in order, and you would likely benefit greatly from even just an exploratory conversation with a certified financial planner. So why not reach out to one today? And if you or someone you know is looking for a good recommendation for a CFP, but aren't quite sure where to start, there happen to be a few here at Presilium that I think pretty highly of, and I'd be glad to point you in their direction. Thanks everyone. Until next month.